Namaste students, I am Shobha, Science faculty from Mangala Vidya Mandira. Let us have a small recall on the topics what we have covered in the previous video. We have started with the interaction of atoms and molecules, law of chemical combination in which we had law of conservation of mass and law of constant proportions. And also we have gone through the atoms and ions also. Now let us move to the second part of atoms and molecules. So in this video we are going to concentrate mainly on how to write the chemical formula. So in the previous classes in your 8th standard we have studied many types of chemical reactions like combination, decomposition, displacement and so on. And we use the word equations to represent them, like sodium hydroxide, hydrochloric acid, when they combine they gives sodium chloride and water. But for all the time for writing such an word equation in a huge form it will be difficult. In order to simplify that we need some chemical formulas. So this is the need of writing the chemical formula. So chemical formulas are used in order to simplify the word equations while representing a chemical reaction. So how to simplify just by using this chemical formula? So this chemical formula is nothing but representing the atoms or elements with their chemical symbols. So some of the chemical symbols are being represented below. Like for example, if you want to write phosphorus, you have to mention the phosphorus as P. Similarly, magnesium, it is to be written as Mg. So the reason why we have given that name and why the symbol, it is already explained in the previous video. So what is chemical formula? So chemical formula is a symbolic representation of atoms and molecules in a chemical reaction. So how can we write a chemical formula just by using the symbols? We know for sodium chloride we are having two atoms. One is sodium atom, another one is chlorine atom. And we also know the symbols of sodium as Na and the symbol of chlorine is Cl. So how to put them together to get sodium chloride? So whether we should write it as Na2Cl or we should write it as Na3Cl2. So that is a main question. So we know what is chemical formula. So for chemical formula we know we need the help of chemical symbols, but how to put them together, that is what we are going to mainly concentrate now. So how to put together, it all depends upon the combining capacity of an atom. What is this combining capacity of an atom? Is nothing but valency. In chemistry we call this combining capacity as valency. So before going to solve the problems on writing the chemical formula for the given chemical compound, let us have a look of what do you mean by valency. As I told already, combining capacity of any atoms with other atom is called as valency. Let I explain the valency with the help of two examples. The first example is hydrogen. Students, you know this hydrogen, its atomic number is 1 and its mass number is 2. So hope you know what is atomic number and mass number, everything. So atomic number of hydrogen is 1, means it is having one proton and one electron in its atom. So a proton is represented in the blue circle and the electron is represented in the red circle. So what is the combining capacity of hydrogen now? So usually the atoms will have a term called as stability. So stability is obtained only when an atom is having either 2 electron in its outermost orbit or it should have 8 electron in its outermost orbit. So 2 electron is only for the two atoms, that is hydrogen and helium, but for all the rest of the 119 or 109 elements whatever it's there, for them the outermost shell should contain 8 electrons. It is called as octet state. So only if it is having 8 electron in its outermost shell, then we can call the atom is stable. So until they attain stability, either they can accept the electron or they can donate the electron and attain that octet state. As I told, only for hydrogen and helium they should need duplet state, that is 2 electron is enough for their stability. So hydrogen is already having 1 electrons. How many more it need to attain stability? Yes, it needs 1 more electron, and that is called as valency. So valency is nothing but the number of electrons that an atom requires to attain stability. So what is valence electron then? Valence electron is the number of atoms present in outermost shell is valence electron. The number of atoms it requires to attain stability is called as valency. Hope you got the difference between what is valence electron and valency. Now the valency of hydrogen is 1. Why it is 1? Because it needs 1 electron to attain stability. So let us move to the next example. See the first example here, that is oxygen. So you know atomic number of oxygen is 8. Out of that 8 electrons, 2 goes in the K shell, that is the first shell, and the 6 electron goes in the next subshell, that is L subshell. So now what is the valence electron of oxygen? It is 6 because they are having 6 electron in its outermost shell, hence it is called as valence electron 6. Then what is the valency then? Valency will be 2 because as I have said, it requires 8 electrons to attain stability. So out of 8 electron already it is having 6. So it needs 2 more electrons to attain stability. Hence the valency of oxygen will be 2. Similarly, come to the next example, magnesium. So magnesium's atomic number is 12. So out of 12, 2 goes in K shell, 8 goes in L shell, remaining 2 goes, that is 2 plus 8 is 10 is over, another remaining 2 goes in M shell. So now you tell me, what is the valence electron of magnesium? Yes, good. It is 2. So magnesium has 2 valence electron. And what would be its valency? So it requires 6 more electrons to attain stability. Yes, valency should be 6. But imagine if you are having 6 chocolates and other person is having 2 chocolates. Your friend is having 2 chocolates, so both of them, in order to be in the normal state, in the cool state, you have to either have 8 chocolates each. But is it easy for you to give 6 chocolates to the other person who is having 2 chocolates, or whether it is easy for the other person who is having 2 chocolates to give you the 2 chocolates? Yes, so it is not very easy to donate more number of electrons. It is always very easy to donate a less number of electrons. So what this magnesium do, instead of accepting or borrowing the 6 electrons, because no one will be giving 6 electrons, because they too all need that electrons, right? So none of the atoms will be ready to donate or share 6 electrons. What it will do, magnesium, instead of accepting 6 electrons, it will donate 2 electrons. So whatever the 2 electrons it is there in the outermost shell, that is M shell, if it donates 2 electrons, again in the next outer, that M shell will be removed, only L shell will be left. That L shell is already having 8 electrons, hence it is becoming stable. So either an atom may accept electrons and it might become stable, or it might donate the electrons and it might become stable. So depending upon how much they need, based on that only whether they will accept or donate, that takes place. Hope now you have understood about the valency, students, and here I have given some of the atoms, elements and its hydrogen, its valency. So atomic number is there in the first row, that is number means atomic number. Hydrogen is having atomic number 1, helium 2, lithium 3, beryllium 4, it goes on, and its corresponding valency it is also given. So as you see, almost all the elements will be having the valency varying from 0 to 1. So you can see some of the elements will be having valency as 0, like helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon. So all these are having valency as 0, means already they are stable, so they don't react or do interact with any other atoms to attain stability. Hence they will be called as noble gases. I hope this and all you have studied in your previous classes. So now here some of the atoms are there, not atoms, it is called ions. We have already discussed about what are ions. So if an ion is present, what will be its valency? For example, sodium ion, potassium ion, silver ion and copper ion, along with that hydrogen hydride, chloride, bromide, iodide, all these are having the valency as 1. So rest of that like magnesium, calcium, zinc, copper, iron, they are having valency 2. And polyatomic ions like ammonia, hydroxide, nitrate, they are having a valency as 1 only. So this is very important, students. Only if you know the valency, how to calculate valency, then only you can be able to solve the formulas, that is how to write the chemical formulas. So just go through it. So how to work out the valency I have already teached you. Now let us go for writing chemical formulas. So there are 3 main steps in writing chemical formula. The first one is, always in a chemical compound there will be two parts. One is metal part, another one is non-metal part. Metal part will be always cation, like plus. A non-metal part will be always anion, like minus. So always remember, when you are being asked to write the chemical formula, you have to first write the metal name, then followed by the non-metal name. For example, magnesium chloride. So they are asked you to write the chemical formula for magnesium chloride. So what you have to do, first you have to write magnesium, that is Mg. Then you have to write chlorine, Cl. So this is the first step. So first we have to identify which is a cation, which is an anion. First write the cation name and then write the anion, not the name, the symbol. The next, after writing the symbols of that cation and anion, below that you have to write its valency. So we have already discussed how to calculate valency and all. So magnesium is having 2 valency. The valency of magnesium is 2. Similarly, the valency of chlorine is 1. So don't think about positive and negative, just ignore it. And I have told you in the ion topic only how do you get a positive charge and how do you get a negative charge. So ignore that positive, negative, that is cation and anion. Just we have to write the numbers. So magnesium valency is 2 and chlorine valency is 1. So write it below that symbol. After writing that below, you have to crisscross, like magnesium's valency goes to chlorine and the chlorine valency goes to magnesium. So this is what we have to write. This is called crisscross method. Like we have to write Mg. Mg, below Mg we have to write the valency of chlorine, that is 1, Mg1. And next we have to write Cl. So what is the valency of magnesium? 2. So below chlorine we have to write Cl2. So after writing that we will get a formula MgCl2. So usually in your mathematics also, if you have the unknown as 1x plus 1y, you will not write it as 1 and 1. So it is understood, and if nothing is there, it is always 1. Similarly in the chemical formula also, if whenever the valencies are 1, no need to mention. So the formula for magnesium chloride will be MgCl2. Let us see another example, like carbon dioxide. So carbon, its symbol is C, oxide, its symbol is O. Then write the valency of carbon, that is 4 below carbon. Write the valency of oxygen, that is 2 below oxygen. Then crisscross. So you will get C2O4. If you simplify, it becomes CO2. So this is a formula for carbon dioxide. Similarly, let us move to the other next step. That is, if it is having polyatomic ions, they should be written within the bracket. For example, calcium hydroxide. Here it is not two atoms. There are more than two atoms. That too it is in hydroxide form. So OH should be written within the bracket. Ammonium sulfate. Here also. So NH4 should be written inside the bracket. For example, let us solve a problem with this. So aluminium, so it is written as Al. Sulfate, so it will be written as SO4. So students, just remember, if the polyatomic atoms will be having lesser number of oxygens, it will be given the name as sulfite. SPHITE, sulfite. But in this case it is having more, SO4. SO4 means it gives you sulfate. If it comes sulfite, then it is SO3. So please remember that. So aluminium we have written as Al, sulfate we have written as SO4. So aluminium valency is 3, sulfate valency is 2. Then you just crisscross. So Al2. So aluminium has a valency of sulfate, so it is Al2, and sulfate valency should be the aluminium's valency, so it should be crisscrossed. So we are writing as SO4. We have to put, because it is a polyatomic, right, because more than one atoms are there, so it should be written in the bracket. And the valency of aluminium 3. So Al2 SO4 thrice is the chemical formula for aluminium sulfate. So another one more example for this, calcium hydroxide. For calcium we have written as Ca, and hydroxide we have written as OH. And for calcium the valency is 2, and for hydroxide valency is 1. So just crisscross and write the valency. So calcium it goes Ca, as I told, no need of mentioning 1, and hydroxide the valency is 2. So hope you have understood the concept of writing the chemical formula, students. Let us move to the next important topic, that is mole concept. Very important topic. I'll just in a short way, simple way, I'll just explain you. So whenever you go for a shop and you buy the fruits, you will ask for, give us 1 dozen of apple, give us 1 dozen of pineapple. So 1 dozen means we know it is a standard number, there should be 12. So if you ask 1 dozen of apples, then they will give you 12 apples. Similarly, 1 dozen of pineapple, 12 pineapples. 1 dozen of orange, you will get 12 orange. But is their weight will be the same, even though they have the same numbers of fruits, but the weight will be different. So 1 dozen of apples will be weighing approximately, it may imaginary 5 kg, but same 1 kg of pineapple it may be 10 kg. 1 kg or 1 dozen of orange it may vary, weigh 3 kg. So even though they are having equal number of fruits, oranges 1 dozen means 12, pineapple 1 dozen means 12, apple 1 dozen means 12, but they are having different quantity, that is weight is different. Similarly, if it has been asked 1 mole of hydrogen, 1 mole of hydrogen always contains some number of atoms, that is 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 atoms. So many atoms will be present in 1 mole of hydrogen, but its mass will be 1 gram. How do you get 1 gram? Means it is atomic mass number. You know na, atomic mass number and all. Similarly, 1 mole of oxygen means it also contains same number, 6.022 into 10 power 23 atoms only, but its weight will be 16 grams. Again, how do you get 16 grams? It is the atomic mass of oxygen. Oxygen atomic number is 8, and its mass number will be 16. Similarly, 1 mole of nitrogen means it is having same number of atoms, but its weight will be different, 14 grams, its atomic mass. So this number, which is constant in all the elements or atoms, will be called as Avogadro number, because it was given by a scientist, Avogadro. So all the atoms contains same number of atoms, which gives you its 1 mole. So 1 mole is nothing but containing Avogadro number of atoms. Whatever the elements you take, it contains Avogadro number of atoms. Only thing is they vary in its weight. So that weight, what is that? 1 gram, 16 grams, and hydrogen 1 gram, oxygen 16 grams, and this grams, the mass expressed will be called as molar mass, because it is mass of a mole, hence it is called as a molar mass. The atomic or molecular mass of a substance which is expressed in grams will be called as molar mass. 1 gram, 16 grams and 14 grams we have studied, right? It is a mass of 1 mole of hydrogen, mass of 1 mole of oxygen, mass of 1 mole of nitrogen, hence it is called as molar mass. So how to calculate the molar mass of different elements? First example, oxygen. So oxygen, we know oxygen exists in different forms like O, O2, O3, like that. So we will calculate for O2. So it contains 2 atoms of oxygen. So one atom of oxygen is having molecular mass of 16. So 16 plus 16, that is 32. 32 is the molar mass of oxygen element. Similarly, water. So water, we are having 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atoms. So hydrogen molecular mass is 1 gram, and another one hydrogen, so another one more plus, and oxygen is having 16 grams. So totally if you add up, it is 18 gram. So molecular mass, that is molar mass of water is 18 grams. Similarly, some more examples like carbon dioxide. Carbon, oxygen plus oxygen, or else you can write 2 into O, that is 2 molecules of oxygen. Carbon's is atomic mass is 12 and oxygen is 16 plus 16, totally it is 44 grams for carbon dioxide. Similarly for calcium hydroxide also. So this is how we calculate the molar mass of different substances. So if we know how to calculate molar mass, we are having another set of formulas where we can calculate number of moles. So number of moles is given by a symbol N. So number of moles can be calculated with two formulas. One is given mass by molar mass, where mass, given mass means the mass they will only give 5 grams, 10 grams, like that. Molar mass, now only we came to know how to calculate molar mass. Or else we can use another formula depending upon what data they have given. So it has been calculated by capital N divided by N naught. What is capital N? It is a given number of particles, that is the data what they will be given. So 2 particles will be involved, 3 particles will be involved, so they will be given that N naught is nothing but Avogadro number. So we know what is Avogadro number. It is a common 6.022 into 10 power 23. So this is the Avogadro number. So depending upon the given data in a question, we can calculate the number of moles. So let us go for the first example. It is there in page number 41, example number 3.3. They are asked us to calculate the number of moles for the following. Sub questions are there. So let us go for the first one. They have given 52 grams of helium. So the mass given, they have given the mass as 52 grams. Find the mole from the mass. So there we have to calculate N. What the mass, the given mass they have given as 52. That we have to use the first formula. N is equal to M by M. So given mass is 52 and the molar mass of helium will be 4. So you know, I think so, helium is He2. So 2 into 2, it is 4. So it is 13. So number of moles will be 13. Similarly, sub question 2, they have given 12.044 into 10 power 23 number of helium atoms. So find the mole from the number of particles. So here we have to use the second formula. Like 1 mole we already know the Avogadro number 6.022 into 10 power 23, and then what the number of particles they have given is 12.044. So 12.044 into 10 power 23 divided by 6.022 into 10 power 23, 10 power 23 goes with 10 power 23, so finally we will get 2 as an answer. So this is how we use the formula to calculate number of moles. So instead of giving the number of moles as an question, they may ask many others. So they give the number of moles also, but they may ask you to calculate the molar mass. So depending upon the data, we have to reshuffle the formula and we have to calculate. So we'll go for the second example, where in the first sub question we have to calculate the mass of the following. So instead of n, we have to calculate small m. So just if you interchange the formula small m, that is mass is given by molar mass into number of moles. So in the first example they have given the mass, that is nitrogen, the 0.5 mole of nitrogen gas. So 0.5 mole is nothing but number of moles. What is the molar mass of nitrogen that we have to calculate? So nitrogen molar mass is 28. So it is 28 into 0.4, 0.5, that is 14 grams. Similarly, second sub question, here also we have to calculate mass. They have given molar mass, that is 14, that is molar mass of nitrogen. It is just n. N is different from N2, students. So n is 14 into 0.5, it is 7 grams. Similarly, other two examples are there where we have to use the given data and reshuffle the formulas and we can find out. Similarly, the last example also based on the same formula. So depending upon the what data they have given and what is the thing we have to find out, just reshuffle it and we can calculate the problems. So hope you have understood this, students.